Loompa. Hey, the Fastlane, we're back. Jon Williams, Ryan O'Connor. How's it, everybody? Hope you've had a good week. Another week of Formula One done and dusted. And here we are. It was you called it a boring race.
Yeah, I think it was very boring. I mean, we spoke, during the race saying it was like a procession. I think, unfortunately, these old legendary tracks are just a bit too small for these modern cars. I mean, if you realize, I went to go look. If you look at the difference between an old Ayrton Senna Formula One car and you saw Vettel going around the track, and then you saw the new cars, they're actually a lot bigger. But it's like bittersweet. I enjoyed qualifying because it showed the drivers on the edge, and when they made mistakes, they went into the gravel trap and they got punished, whereas the new tracks have tire runoff. So I don't know, Ryan. I think there needs to be a compromise and try and find maybe a middle ground between the legendary tracks and the modern tracks. But they have to do something. I mean, one DRS set up where they could pass wasn't enough. I mean, Lando Norris caught Sebastian Vettel. Why do I keep saying Sebastian?
I know. Because you want him back in. Would you like to see him back in Formula One?
I would, but I read an article this morning saying that that's not going to happen. It doesn't look like he's going to go to Mercedes.
Comfortable and cool and happy where he is.
Yeah, look what he's done with this Ayrton Senna Foundation and the livery in the car. I think he loved that. I mean, every boy's dream is to drive Ayrton Senna's winning McLaren.
He drove it flat out.
That sound. We were lucky enough to know people that were actually at the event.
Yeah.
And so I mean, the passion, the tifosi, the Ferrari fans and everything, it was great. But then it was like this big climax or anti-climax at the end when the race came. So, and I mean, again, Lando catching Max, but just couldn't get past him. There was just no ways. Everyone's getting excited. They're ramping up four laps to go. And me and you are like, yeah, okay, whatever, and then we're going to a street circuit where we're going to have pretty much the same. But hopefully McLaren can maybe put on pole. Upset Red Bull, and they also now again they're following the theme with the Ayrton Senna racing in his livery, his colours, the two McLarens, and then as you know, all the drivers come out with fancy helmets for the Grand Prix.
What do those helmets cost to make? They're pricey. Hey, there's like about
150 grand,
I thought so.
And probably there's a little bit more. I mean, and they spray them. It's so cool. Every race they get a different helmet. I think that's really cool. But I wonder what sort of fans we're going to see at Monaco this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I love it. It's the jewel in the crown. This is the one that to win. You want to win Monaco. You want to win.
Did you get an invite to a yacht at all? I know you're always getting invites
to a dinghy. Even the dinghies will do. You can squeeze a little dinghy in there and go across and squeeze your little gap in there.
That dinghy. Yeah.
It is one to go to. It's the one on the social calendar. It's the one you want to get invited to, and all things looking good for that Grand Prix, though.
Yeah. And by the way, do you know who's won the most Grand Prix?
Between McLaren and Ferrari?
Yeah.
Would be those two?
Yeah, McLaren. Can you believe it? 15 wins at Monaco versus 9 to Ferrari. So it just shows you McLaren and on the way up again, and maybe going to be breaking more race wins and more achievements going forward.
Who are we looking at this weekend? What are we looking in terms of the race weekend?
Yeah, so we got two wheels also at Catalunya. I mean, real bullfighters, these guys, the traditional real, kamikaze pilots on these two-wheel bikes. And Brad Binder coming out saying he definitely wants to have some more race wins this year. So we'll see what happens there. But obviously, again, you got Marc Marquez, Martin, your favorite rider, Bagnaia, right up there.
I'm a Bagnaia!
And again, they're all fighting for the Ducati factory team rider position for next year. So it's very exciting. Sprint race on Saturday, main race on Sunday, and then Formula One, Monaco, and then local racing.
Local motor racing, let's quickly talk about that. What's happening in the local motor racing? This thing's going to Killarney.
That's the Spanish Grand Prix. We're talking local. We've got the Power Series, round 4. So again, lots of racing, lots of 2 wheels and 4 wheels action. Nice to support the local guys as we always do. And we'll be there supporting and shouting from the Porsche Club.
Shane Williams. Let's phone Shane Williams. You got an uncle, brother in the racing business. Call her Williams. Here we go. $0800 Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, Shane Williams.
Good morning, Ryan and John. Thank you for having me.
You must be excited about getting back out in a car again this weekend.
Sure. I can tell you it's been an emotional roller coaster for me because when you have to pay out of your own pocket, you get kind of sad, and then you realize you still got to be excited because you're spending so much money. And
on that point, what do you think for local guys and up-and-coming young racers? What would a weekend like what you're doing cost, Shane?
Just for running costs, you're looking at around 10,000 Rand if nothing goes wrong.
Yo, that's if nothing goes wrong. Speaking of going wrong, we're happy that you got the car going, because there was worry and concern this week about the car and about the car being able to compete this weekend. But that's all been sorted. So we're happy to say that Shane will be in the car this weekend racing.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited. I must just say thank you to Robbie Ferroli. Last week he said, listen, Shane, bring the car around. Let's put a new engine in. Let's get you on the track. So, yeah, Robbie's really come to the party there.
Yeah, and I mean, he's a guy that's been involved
VW Motorsport in the Western Cape.
And looking after guys with street cars and road-going cars. And I mean, everybody remembers that four-wheel drive... What's a mid-engine
VR6?
The orange gold.
Yeah. So nice to hear he's still going and doing well.
And it's quite a thing on your VW to still have one of those Ferroli stickers. If you've got a Ferroli sticker on your car, you know it's been to the specialists, the best of the best.
Yeah.
Shane, listen, there's some serious competition this weekend as well, because we've, you've got an old rival that you're taking on this weekend. There's no such thing as an easy or a given race. It's all out there this weekend at Killarney. What's the kind of a build-up been between you and Mr. Roach?
Well, I mean, we always see each other down at the track, so we're always teasing each other.
On the paddle court these days.
20 years ago, I mean, we've raced each other's cars. We've raced in the same car together in endurance races. So we like basically best friends. But when we get on that track, we're basically the best enemies.
I love that. And the conditions are looking great, because you would have, a couple of weeks ago, you would have looked at May and this date and you would have gone, oh, there's a good chance there might be rain on the circuit. But perfect racing conditions out at Killarney this weekend.
I know. And I was kind of happy if it was raining, because
I was going to say,
I'm a little bit down on power compared to the rest of the guys. But it's and the rain normally settles the level playing field when it comes to that. But nevertheless, I'm very fast in the dry as well, so my talents will over-exceed everyone's expectations.
Absolutely. And love that. I love that as well.
Yeah, and it's nice for those that don't know, Shane's competing in the GDI Challenge, one make series VW, and like Shane says, a very competitive category. And I think, again, like we've spoken about many times, Ryan, if you want to show your talent, no better place to be where they control the rules and the cars are pretty even. Take away a bit of that checkbook racing where the guys run away with sort of modifications and makes it unfair.
And nice to have the old Edgemead boys, the old Northern Suburbs boys, still very involved. We've got Celly City, we've got Integro Energy for Dwayne, and then of course Jono and the guys at Magmaster, to name but a few of the sponsors that are involved in that
like
series.
That local racing, right? We've seen like families and friends, and everybody gets involved to get guys back on the track, and it's also good because I really do think that more people are going to be coming to watch this weekend, so more seats or bums in the seats for Killarney International Raceway.
Shane, besides this weekend, have you earmarked any other events that we could possibly see you back in the car?
So we're busy working towards PE, which is in September. Then obviously I'll do the other races now there's another one in July, and I think another one in August. And then we go to PE in September, which I'm excited about.
Ryan, have you ever been to PE?
I have. I have been to the
That's
track.
always a good fun, a little away trip. We might have to make a turn there.
We will be doing this podcast live to support Shane in Port Elizabeth. Also looking forward to getting involved in sponsorship and helping Shane get to PE to make that all happen a bit later on in the year. Shane, we can't wait to see a Williams back in a car racing flat out this weekend. Wishing you all the best, my friend. We can't wait to see you down at the track.
Thank you so much. And I must just give one shout out to my stepdad, Les, Car King. And then also, I mustn't forget the Van der Linde bros that come to the party, which is a big one. The boys are supporting me hard, and they said, Shane, you get a win overall, we'll give you a win bonus.
Oh, yes.
Got to get the win bonus to the Van der Lindes.
What is that, a Bruckforst? Or what's it from Germany?
Yeah.
Sausage.
Well, the win bonus will basically go straight to the bar tab.
The bar tab.
Oh, yes. Oh, it's great that the guys are supporting. And we can't wait to go down to watch. So it's going to be really exciting.
Lekker, Shane. We'll see you on the weekend. All the best, bud.
Thanks for the support, guys.
Cool. Ciao. Bye. Shane Williams, which is the better Williams racing, brother?
Let's not go
Watch
there.
this weekend. It's Shane, all the best, mates. And like he said, a huge thanks to the Van der Lindes who watch this and are doing really well in Europe as well. As Les and the great company that he has. Support local. He's got a fantastic car hire company that's available locally for you to go and support.
And local dealership, Auto King,
Auto King, incredible
great
company.
That these guys get involved.
Also, huge thanks to, I've got to say, and I'm not going to call her auntie, right? For this, I've got a beautiful gift from Suzanne. And you can support her company as well, Coco B, that make these beautiful bracelets. I've got one on my wrist. So huge thanks to Suzanne. Looking forward to seeing the Williams family down at the track. Now, John and I have had a mixed week with cars because not only have we had something from the Roller Luxury stable, we've had a Range Rover Vela that's on their floor, to a Cayenne, the basic Cayenne, to a 911. So there's been Porsches for the Porsche run this coming weekend. But also I have a Volvo EX30 that you and I helped launch for the CMH group. Volvo have sent us the EX30. What a vehicle for $1 million, just under $1 million, 0 to 103.6 seconds. That, and we've had one of my favorite brands at the moment, which has been very sneaky, Renault.
Yes.
Renault have given us a car. Let's have a look at both of these vehicles. All right, everybody, here we are with these two cars this week. We've got the Renault and, of course, the EX30. Now, John, this EX30 is very impressive. 0 to 103.5 seconds. It goes like a rocket. Great range on it as well. And it looks a lot like, it looks a lot like, I want to say Tesla. Okay, with the Tesla-ish vibes on it, but it is just an incredible vehicle.
But I also like the interior; it's very minimalistic.
Love it.
Basic.
Everything runs off one like iPad, central console. So really nicely decked out, nicely spec'd as well. And for $1 million, if you're entering the world of EVs, Volvo make a great product.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen acceleration, 0 to 103.4 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
No, it's crazy.
But it is. It's sort of attracted a lot of attention driving it on the roads, and wherever we've gone, people have come up and asked us about the car.
Absolutely everything runs off that central screen. So if you want to open the cubby hole, off the central screen.
Oh, wow.
Want to adjust the mirrors, off the central screen. Everything runs off that central screen.
Also that dash, have you seen the dash and the sidewall? It's got this eco-friendly looking
It's a recycled material, the dash, but there's no speedometer in front of you. Everything's off that central console. Everything.
Similar to the Mini.
Similar to the Mini.
Yeah. Absolutely. A bit of getting used to, but quickly you get used to it. It's not a bad thing.
Now I want to talk to you about something that I think is super, super cool, this Renault. I don't know what it is about Renault lately that I love, but I'm loving this vehicle.
Yeah.
Do you know how fast this car is?
No, I don't.
This car, John, is really incredible. Now, you're looking to spend 400K on a car. You're wondering to yourself, well, what does 400 grand buy me for a vehicle? Well, a lot of pre-owned cars you can get at 400K. But this, Captur, is just a phenomenal car. Well built by Renault. In actual fact, what I love about it is if you go on the central console, if you've got your navigation on, the central navigation system brings up a choice of cars you can have. You can even have a Renault Formula One car.
That's really cool.
A Renault F1 car is your navigation car.
But again, a great base model to start with if you're wanting to get in. Because I mean, like prices that we've spoken about have climbed. So I mean, your 300,000 to 400,000 rand is a very price competitive bracket. So very cool car to drive and very stylish. Nice little mag wheels. I like the interior. Like you say, very user friendly as well when it comes to using the infotainment system.
Right, goes from that to the tried and trusted Proton from the CMH group behind there. That's in the kind of myriad of cars that we've got in the setup here. And then this over here, from those two, from the Renault and from the Volvo, onto a car that I really love. You know, there's no such thing as a bad Porsche ever.
No.
And this Porsche from the beautiful collection, Roller Luxury collection, being spec'd nicely. You see it's got the upgraded headlights package on it. The wheels.
What is the colour, Ryan? What kind of
colour?
What do they call it?
I don't know what they'd call it.
Always interested to know. It's become
the
quite
car
popular.
nerds will be able to tell you exactly the name of this, but it has become indeed very popular. And obviously optional extra 21-inch rims. And this is the base model Cayenne. Like I said, there's a lot of options that they've spec'd with this one. A lot of the option boxes that they've gone and ticked. So yeah, great vehicles. Again, a spoil in terms of choices of cars to drive in the fast lane. There we go. There you have it, ladies and gents. The vehicles that have been parked on my grass and that John and I have been making use of this week. Looking forward to some cool cars in the next couple of weeks from Mercedes-Benz South Africa. Speaking of which, a huge thanks. This is the van that took us up to Samola and down. Let me tell you, when it comes to Mercedes-Benz...
This chair actually reminds me of the luxury seats were in that van. I mean, you just... first class all the way.
Win the European lottery. 100 million pounds or euros. It's a lot of money. It's over $1 billion.
Take it.
I'll get given 5 cars for my garage in the 5 cars that I have. Okay. For my garage. I only want 5 in the garage.
Okay. Only 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
But one of them definitely will be Mercedes V300D.
I agree with you. I mean, it's the styling, the practicality,
of
the
all
comfort.
the cars on earth I would have in my garage.
Yeah.
I would have a V300D in there as well. It would be the one in the garage done.
Yeah.
And then I'd have a look at others, obviously some fun stuff or whatever. But that Mercedes-Benz inside it as a passenger, Alex, our videographer that's been shooting this, will tell you, because he snored his head off when we drove it back. Comfortable in the back, he had his feet up, leather seats that are fully air-conditioned. Binky, who's also watching this, was the other guy fast asleep in the back of the van. Villy and I were in the front of that van. Villy from One Bet was in that van. We were just cushioned along in that V300D. It was the best vehicle for an outing, I can tell you that much.
Yeah, talking about the best made cars, 15 of the best Italian cars. I had a look.
Ooh.
And the reason why, you're probably thinking it was a tough choice, it really was. But the reason why I did it was, Ryan, because I wanted to tell you that in the top 15 in the world is a Fiat Abarth.
Not one.
Two. So your normal Fiat 500. Amongst Ferrari F40, the Alfa Romeo Giulia Sprint, Maserati Bora. Never heard of a Maserati Bora.
It's a beautiful looking car.
Pagani Zonda.
The Zonda is amazing.
458 Speciale, which we know should
that's my favorite, especially, when you were driving the 458, I said the Speciale is the one to get.
You did. And then obviously your Hurricane, the Evo, the rear-wheel drive, the Ferrari F3.
That's the Evo. No, it's Performante.
Yeah.
That's the Hurricane Performante. I got the model on it over there.
And then also we spoke about, and we actually had a good chat with Quibus about the F355 Ferrari.
Yeah. Also one of my favorites.
So, I mean, and I can go on, but I mean, actually one more, the Lancia Stratos.
Ooh.
Remember they made that rally car around the Lancia Stratos, became very, very famous. But yeah, tough choices.
We're going to do a special event coming up with Sunland Private Wealth as well, and it could be an auction of two of the very first Ferraris to arrive in South Africa, a 308 GTB and a Testarossa, both of which are very special, and the one being the Testarossa, I've got a very special story around that specific Testarossa, the first Testarossa in South Africa. It's coming up for auction. A dear friend of ours wants us to auction that vehicle off for him, both of those cars.
And in red.
And both in red.
Yeah.
Both all original, both all immaculate. We'll talk about that coming up on the podcast soon, or on this video, the Fastlane. We'll talk more about that date because it's coming now in June. June, July. We were just finalizing details, John and I, yesterday with this individual. We've got a venue in mind. We've secured a venue, etc., etc. We're going to do something cool. Also with Sunland Private Wealth, who, again, if you don't know, they manage a comprehensive range of multi-asset, balanced, and of course, equity portfolios across different risk categories. They're incredible, and they're a part of the journey with the Fastlane. So looking forward to doing some cool things around more public and more engaging shows with people that we're allowing you to come and join us, and like-minded petrol heads to get together and spend some time together. We'll be back in the Fastlane again, same time next week. A huge thanks to OneBet. Of course, not forgetting our friends Breitling. And by the way, watch this space. Another one is on the way soon. I want to talk about that one. There's a new Avi Mosquito. No, it's not the kind. It's a watch. We'll talk about that when it arrives.
Just quickly, Michael Schumacher's watches went on auction.
Yeah.
For 80 million rand?
Yeah.
What would you think he would have had, Ryan, just quickly? What would he be?
The ones that he would have got rid of are the ones that he had partnerships with. He had massive, and he still has with Amiga and the Speedmaster range, his own range of Amigas. And he had in his collection, he has a collection of, you'd find the similarities between a watch collector and somebody who races a car.
Yeah,
it's very similar. These racing car drivers get the most incredible watches, and they've got the most incredible collections. And it's very interesting that he's parting with a lot of the family are with a lot of the collection that's just not being worn at the moment, and it's understandable. But incredible watches, and it's interesting to see what they'll fetch when they do come to to auction. Like, subscribe, be a part of the community, and we'll catch you again next week. Back in the Fastlane.